Hello, everyone. This is Michael Wehar broadcasting here from Swarthmore College's WSRN 91.5 FM. We're really excited to have a great show here today. We have two special guests. Before we introduce them, though, I wanted to let you know our phone number is 610-690-5700. If at any time during the show you'd like to call in, please feel welcome to. So our two guests here today, we have Roman and we have TJ, and they pitched at a business pitch competition here at Swarthmore College called swattank. We're really excited to have them, and also we're excited to congratulate them for winning this competition. So Roman and TJ, could you please quickly introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Roman Hines. I'm a freshman here at Swarthmore College, and I'm studying computer science.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm TJ Chapman. I'm a junior here, and I'm double majoring in economics and political science.
Thank you so much for that introduction. So I'm just going to jump right into some questions. So the first question I have here is, why did you choose to pitch at swattank? What inspired you to consider entrepreneurship?
I can answer that. I would say personally, I've always been super interested into getting into entrepreneurship and startups and trying to get into the business world. And so when I saw the CIL, which is the Center of Innovation and Leadership here, they sent out an email for the competition. I wanted to just investigate it and look into it further. And after that, getting on a Zoom call with them and seeing what it was about, I was just super interested. I wanted to try and create my own idea and see what could happen from there.
Yeah, so that led to Roman contacting me and, coming up with an idea that we could possibly, pitch to CIL, and from there we became a finalist, and it was after that it was just let's see where we can take it.
Well, that's really awesome. It's really great to hear that at Swarthmore College they have the Center for Innovation and Leadership, and they have a community here to promote entrepreneurship and to promote, idea creation and potentially starting new businesses. We had Kate Srinivasan previously on the show, and she works in the community here to try and promote new businesses as well. And it's just great to hear that. So the next question I have here, I wanted to ask you, for your pitch, what was your company called, and what problem or problems was your company trying to solve?
Yeah, so our company was called Forge. We were trying to solve the problem of athletes' off seasons and a lack of motivation, and we figured that the best way to do this was through creating a community that athletes could come to for motivation and accountability.
Yeah, and I think off of that, kind of the inspiration came from when the COVID year, essentially. And so TJ and I are both on the basketball team here at Swarthmore. And so our season got canceled over the 2020-2021 year. And so we were all kind of at our own homes, and I was taking a gap year at that time. And so we were all separated, and there was no way to train together. And that's what I've noticed is a huge part of the culture here on our basketball team. And so just because of that, we wanted to really try and fix that, because I don't know, for many athletes, the off season is a very difficult time when you are separated from your teams. And so that was a major problem that Ford was trying to solve.
So that's really neat to hear how your idea for the competition is actually related to what you were experiencing with being on the basketball team. And I have another quick question here. I've heard a lot of athletes end up going in the direction of business or even starting businesses and things like that. Do you think there's some kind of association between those two things, maybe the competitive nature of basketball, or I'm just wondering if you had any thoughts on that.
The only thing that I could add to that is the idea of collaboration. I think athletes, at least basketball athletes, because that's what I am, we understand the importance of a team. And with that comes entrepreneurship. There's always usually a team of individuals working towards a goal. So for this project of Forge, it's me and Roman as a team working towards a goal. And it was the same for us during our basketball season as a group of 18 men, we were working towards a goal of, accomplishing a national championship, whether that be a conference championship or just winning our season in general.
Yeah, I also think even with that, I think we are. I know I personally am super competitive, and so I was down for the competition in whatever form that it looked like. And I think even as athletes, we are super competitive, or most of us are. If that correlates to most people going into business, maybe I'm not entirely sure, but I know for me personally, I am super interested in business, for many different reasons, and I guess competition is one of them.
Well, that's really great. That definitely helps me. Because I'm no longer an athlete, but at one time I played soccer. But if you give me a basketball, I can barely dribble. I'm not so good. But I want to come back to a few questions about swattank. So I just wanted to ask you about what was it like participating in swattank, and would you recommend it to your classmates in the future years that they run the competition?
So I would say I would recommend it. I would be very, very careful if you are a spring athlete, though, or if you have major commitments in the spring, because it will kind of eat up a lot of your time, and the 8 or so weeks that you get will disappear very quickly. But I will say it was extremely rewarding. I thought it was a great experience because the CIL, they connect you with a lot of different people, and they're really just kind of shepherding you and helping you through the entire process. So for me, not having much experience, I felt like even if I was ever lost, I could always ask a question and kind of get direction. And so it was a really informative and insightful and really fulfilling experience to kind of work on this project the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with everything Roman said, and just to add, it's an amazing experience, but also the people we got to meet with also just enriched the whole process for us. Carl, Katie, Matt. Josh, who's a former alumni as well, all of these people prepared us for this competition, and helped us create a product that we could bring to people at Swarthmore.
Well, again, I was so impressed by your pitch. I was at the competition. I saw them pitch together. It was really great, and they ended up winning. Congratulations again. So I just wanted to ask you too, is there anything that you think contributed to you being successful in the competition? And also, with the success that you've had, are there any next steps, whether that's related to next steps here at Swarthmore or next steps in your life?
I can answer what I think was very important in, I guess, our winning. In a sense, I think it's kind of as much as TJ and I would have wanted to win, I think we saw how much more it was than that, and so I think the amount of effort that we put into trying to understand our customer really paid off, because even though our product got shifted and kind of pivoted a lot of different times, it allowed us to create the best product possible, which ended up being the winning product by the end, because we were so focused on putting out surveys and talking to our demographic and trying to really understand what athletes wanted and how to sort of cater our solution to them and not the other way around. And I also think the part of just making every effort of just we were just nonstop pitching, because we were nonstop practicing, because we didn't want to leave anything up to chance. We wanted to just put our all into it, and then whatever the result was, we were gonna live with that. And so I think we really just did our best, and we weren't gonna leave any stone unturned, essentially.
Yeah, I think it's that that athletic nature / competitive nature that came out of us when it came to leaving everything on the table. Me and Roman wanted to make sure we put our best foot forward and put as much effort into the competition as we could, because to an extent it led to us working harder, but also no matter what the result was, we would be able to say, hey, we're satisfied with this. We gave it our all, and we'll accept whatever prize, whatever place we came in, because we knew that we gave it our all.
And then answering the question of sort of next steps, TJ and I would love to kind of work on this moving forward, especially during the summer, and to kind of just see where we can go, whether it's building a prototype or solidifying a demographic, better defining our value proposition and things like that. We definitely want to see that forward, and if it can have a place at Swarthmore, whether we can test it here or other schools in Centennial Conference, we would love to kind of see this further, whether on campus or even in a broader audience.
Yeah, definitely. Me coming from a startup background, I work for some alumni right now that are creating a startup called Crescent Health, and they graduated when I was a freshman, and so there's definitely an entrepreneurship, you know, field here of Swarthmore students who want to create their own businesses and have their own ideas, and why not me and Roman trying to figure out where we can take Forge, and if not Forge, other ideas that we can come up with.
So this is really great. We have, again, if you're just joining us, we have these two special guests here. They're students here at Swarthmore College. We have Roman and TJ. They entered the business pitch competition called swattank. They won it. They're sharing about their experience. This is really awesome. And again, if you're just tuning in, this is Swarthmore College's WSRN 91.5 FM radio station. I'm Michael Wehar, and we have these two great guests. And you're always welcome to give us a call. Our number is 610-690-5700. If you have any questions for us, you're welcome to call in. So continuing on here, that's really great to hear that you're thinking about the next steps. You're thinking about what you're going to do next, and you might even make a prototype. You might even build this. You might even try to target some users and see how much value it's providing to them. And I also wanted to ask, do you think you're going to start a business someday? Do you think that's a possibility? And maybe it's this idea, maybe it's a different idea down the road. And do you think you might start a business together?
I would love to start a business one day. That's one of my life goals. I want to be an entrepreneur when I grow up. I do understand that with being an entrepreneur, there needs to be some finances in place. So if out of college I need to work at a finance place, or an IB, or whatever opportunities arise for me, I'll be willing to do those. But my goal and my future self understands that I do want to be in the field of entrepreneurship, and I would love to work with Roman in the future, whether that be with Forge or with other ideas that we can come up with. I think he's a very hardworking individual, and he brings a lot to the table, and I can learn a lot from him.
Yeah, I would say same here. Like, it was awesome working with TJ as well. And I think for me personally, like, I've almost given up on the idea of working a regular job. Like, I very much so see myself running a business. And that's honestly my goal, to graduate with my own business in a sense. And I guess I have the side of being a freshman on my side. I have a bit more time to try and figure this out. But whether it is Forge, whether it's another idea, absolutely, I think I definitely want to pursue business. And I think there's just so much that you can learn from it. Whether or not you want to be an entrepreneur, I think everyone can kind of gain something or learn things from business. And I think it's something that everyone can that everyone can gain and learn something from.
So this leads me to the next question here. What could Swarthmore College do to better support students who are interested in potentially starting a business now or in the future? And I also want to put you on the spot a little bit and ask, what could we do next semester? What could we do while you're still students here?
That's a great question. I think competitions like swattank are the beginning processes of creating entrepreneurs here at Swarthmore, or at least getting students' ideas out. I would say that different competitions like these would be a great Kickstarter when it comes to entrepreneurship for Swarthmore students, but also clubs are a great way to advertise entrepreneurship, and just honestly just getting students' ideas out, because I believe that the community here at Swarthmore has a lot of brilliant ideas, and we just need to get people talking and collaborating to get those ideas out.
Yeah, I would say similarly, in terms of I think the opportunities are here. They're just hard to find, or you really have to go out of your way to go and get them. I was for example, my friend Sean Cheng, he was also in the competition, and he he helps with the Launch Deck Club here, which is an entrepreneurship club at Swarthmore. And so I think giving more support to clubs like those, having more competitions and like hackathons and like things like swattank more on campus, having things like workshops or fairs where like we can bring on more people and kind of give people more access to people who are in the field and who are working in businesses, because like honestly that's what kind of made this process so real for us, of like actually being able to talk to different people who are in the field, who are doing these things, and like it gave us like really like great down to earth experiences and like insight on like how to give a pitch, how to form your business, how to create a value proposition. Speaking to people like Dr. Crossan, who's just an expert in the business model canvas, like connecting with those individuals, I think is a really kind of set us apart in a sense, and what I think like Swarthmore students need more of if we're going to have more of this on campus.
Yeah, just to add to that, next semester, it's more so about like, for example, what me and Roman can bring to the table when it comes to bringing this idea of entrepreneurship to Swarthmore College a little bit more. Whether that be me and Roman creating a club, or coming up with ideas to advertise entrepreneurship and getting more people involved with it or learning about it. I would say that's next steps for next semester. Whether that be Swarthmore College funding us or not, I think that me and Roman have a place in creating a culture of entrepreneurship on Swarthmore campus as well.
Well, I think you being here on this radio show is really awesome. You gave a lot of suggestions. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can help with, and hopefully some of the listeners might be able to help out as well. And we're just about to wrap up. We just have one more question here. You've already touched on this, but do you have any specific dreams for your futures? Are there any of these specific goals you might have you're willing to share with us? I know, TJ, you said you want to start a business someday. So that's really great. Anything more you can say about dreams or goals you might have? They could be related to entrepreneurship. They might not be related to entrepreneurship. They can be far-reaching goals, or they can be, very obtainable goals.
Yeah, I've always been told, shoot for the stars, you'll land on the moon. I think that holding that idea in mind when coming up with my goals, whether those be long-term or short-term, allows me to put my best foot forward and also live with the outcomes. I would love to be an entrepreneur when I grow up. I don't know what that entails or what ideas that I'll come up with. But I think that being an entrepreneur allows you to come up with your own hours to an extent and be flexible. And I think that's very important for me because I value family a lot. And with that in mind, I want to be able to, if and when I have kids, I want to be around them as much as possible. And I think the entrepreneurship will allow me to do that. Owning my own business, being able to create my own hours, but also being able to impact people in a positive light. I think that was one of the bigger parts for me and Roman as well, is being able to create a product that helped others. And through that, we came up with the fitness app. And even though it's targeted towards athletes, possibly one day we can target this towards the entire world and help people, accomplish their fitness goals.
Yeah, I would say similarly, like kind of very similar to TJ. Like I very much so like see the value in the lifestyle of like, having more freedom and what that entails and like being able to solve problems. I think like a personal goal, like I have the top of my list right now is like to retire my parents. And like that also drives me a lot to kind of like figure out like, okay, like what business is going to get off the ground. I think at the same time, like making an impact is also huge because it's almost just like what else is there to do in a sense? Because it's great to live a nice life. Like it's also one other thing to like really help someone else do that. And so like for me as a disciple, as a Christian, like I want to use my gifts to like serve people. And I think like business is like the best way for me to do that and for me to have a large scale impact and a scaling impact at that. And so that's what I want to use entrepreneurship and businesses to do throughout my career.
Well, that's really great. At least in my life, I've had some goals that I accomplished soon after I set those as goals. I've had some goals I'm still working on. I've had some I gave up on and then I came back to 5 years later or 10 years later, and I'm still working on. So it was just really inspiring and great to hear about both of your goals. So we're just wrapping up here. Again, my name is Michael Wehar, broadcasting here from Swarthmore College's WSRN 91.5 FM with these two great special guests, Roman and TJ. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. And, congratulations on all your success. And we're going to sign out for today, but thank you again.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.